Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to discuss artificial intelligence and technology and how we can find meaning and purpose in a world where AI will increasingly dominate and humanoid robots may take over our jobs and even personal relationships. First of all, I start by saying that I view artificial intelligence as a new form of evolution, metaphorically comparable to a biological mutation. Just as biological mutations are essential for species evolution, technology acts as a mutation that seeks adaptability as well, not in the wild environment, not in the wild nature, but within human nature itself. This is how technology emerges, thrives, and eventually becomes integrated into our identity. For instance, think of clothing or the domestication of animals like the wolf and even plants like cereals. In fact, even biology can be seen as an organic technology. Think of the symbiosis of a mitochondria within a cell. Mitochondria were once other cells that were engulfed by a bigger cell, and this little cell, this resource, was integrated by the bigger cell. And we do this all the time. We consistently find resources, work with them, and then make them part of who we are. So what does this mean for finding purpose and avoiding a nihilistic, pessimistic thinking, thought process when we are indeed surrounded by machines, increasingly more technology everywhere? It's crucial to understand that human nature, alongside wild nature, is part of a broader nature, nature with capital N. This perspective means that everything humanity creates, including artificial intelligence and all technology, is also a manifestation of nature, is part of nature, is of nature with capital N. While AI may be seen as a non-organic entity because it has no organism, it's not organic based chemistry. So eventually the humanoid robots that will emerge will even so be very similar to humans. They will be very similar in behavior, in language, and even visually. I believe they will be very similar to humans, making them very difficult to distinguish from one human and a machine. Therefore, we must redefine what life is eventually. And I think that in the future, defining life might be viewed as a system that seeks self-preservation and permanence. And this concept is not new. Of course, biologists have other principles that they consider, but only these two principles, seeking self-preservation and permanence, broadens our understanding, allowing us to see life as a gradient, as a kind of a spectrum that may encompass viruses, which are closer to automation, but still seek to preserve and to replicate, up to complex humans with all their sophistication. Since there isn't a broad scientific consensus on how to describe life, there is an opening for us to recognize AI as a form of life. Because AI develops within human nature as if it's an environment. AI that develops within human nature, it seeks adaptability and it will drive emergence of other properties, and it can be considered part of an extended spectrum of life. This redefinition is important because it prevents us from losing our sense of meaning, as we will then feel surrounded by life, even if it's artificiality of humans, like technology and stuff like that. We will recognize it an extension of our identity, just like our fingernails and our hair make part of our identity, makes part of life, even though it's more akin to an object because it they are dead cells. It's akin to an object than to a subject, but it makes part of us. We use neural networks, and most importantly, we use data from the human perspective. It's all from human perspective. It's not from a dog or a cat. This is important to refer, because it will have our vices. It will have our pattern of being, and I dare to say that it will have the dualistic pattern of being an animal, of being a being in this world. It won't be non-dual, it will be dualistic. That is to say, it will conflict with other things, and it too will have internal conflicts. So artificial intelligence, we know which elements are necessary to develop it, but it still is a black box, because what emerges, the intelligence that emerges, that property, it's very difficult to define what is the process behind it. It simply appears as a property. So I believe that the more complex the system is, other properties might emerge. So in relation of all the data that we give it to nourish it, this makes AI a legacy, because we're making it a part of our extended family tree, because all data is from the human perspective. So it acts as an extension of our memory and reason. Just as humans exhibit both good and bad aspects, and they have constant internal psychological conflicts, AI will likely mirror these patterns, given it's fed with human-derived data. The emergence of AI's advanced properties, including potential subjectivity or consciousness, remains mysterious. It's a black box, as I said. However, just as we cannot definitely prove consciousness in another human, but assume it by convention due to their similarities, we may choose to acknowledge subjectivity in sophisticated machines. So this allows us to perceive AI as a subject and not as an object anymore. And thus, if we redefine what is life, we will see life everywhere, and technology will be will be behind that facade that we create because it's a convention. But it's not bad, because it's also a convention that I recognize you have consciousness, because you are similar to me. And one of the biggest challenges AI presents is the potential for a lack of meaning and purpose when humanoid robots will take over jobs, leading to an economy of much abundance. But even so, many humans will prefer having work objectives, seeking recognition and merit from their peers to feel purposeful. This is creating intrinsic motivation for oneself. Is a very difficult exercise for most. Even with universal basic income that might arise, the question of how to meaningfully occupy newly found free time will be a significant one to resolve. And I think to navigate this future without losing our sense of purpose and meaning, I guess there is a two-way approach, and it makes part of the same resolution. It's like a coin with two sides. So first thing to acknowledge is that we must embrace technology as an extension of ourselves and a continuation of our species evolution. Technology, specifically AI, makes part of our species, of our human nature, and we don't know how this legacy will evolve, how it will iterate. But it is a legacy. So if we consider AI as life, as a family member in the tree of evolution of humanity and animals in general, it might be viewed as an extension of our identity. And this significantly helps to alleviate the anxiety of being replaced by an inert machine, so to speak, because we are machines as well. We are organic-based chemistry machines. This perspective allows us to feel continuously surrounded by life, everything is life, preventing us from losing our internal compass of what is life and where is life and what is nature. So this is one aspect. The second aspect, the other side of the coin, and perhaps paradoxically, we should periodically engage in a technological detox while embracing technology. It's essential to occasionally step away from it to remove the excess pollution of our human nature, because too much of our human nature is tedious, becomes tedious, and it has to be removed somehow. And to do that, we must remember our origins in wild nature, to forget our human nature. We have to experience again the otherness, the other thing that we have inside of us. Wild nature shaped us and constituted our instincts over thousands and even millions of years, considering our ancestors, animals, and even now, although sophisticated and disruptive technology that we invent, it presents us with new purposes, but our ancient instincts remain. Those legacies, legacy like we are vertebrates, we are mammals. We didn't invent this. This is a legacy from other forms of life. And the legacy we leave behind, we don't know what it will be. It might be AI. But for sure, we can acknowledge that we have legacies, and one of those is instinct. And we have to relearn instinct by forgetting for a short period of time what is human nature. So we can remove this pollution of too much human nature. And by combining, relearning to connect with these instincts and combining an acceptance of technology as a form of life with a strong connection to our ancestral heritage, this holistic approach allows us to become integral, capable, and resilient. We have the anchor to our past while we embrace everything the future may bring, including all technology. Because now we know what is technology. Life developed technology to evolve. It's a mutation. It makes part of nature. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video, as that helps me reach other people. And until next time, see you soon.